The home run derby. Coors Field, pretty good place for it since it opened in '95. Over 300 homers more at Coors Field than any other park. So let's get going. Matt Olson, Trey Mancini. Mancini missed all of 2020 battling colon cancer, and he would hit 11 consecutive home runs and finished with 24. Bit of controversy, one around the buzzer there. But Mancini finishes with 24. Pressure on Matt Olson, who has 23 home runs this season. He needs 24 here to tie it up. And we got a dude in a pink shirt, and oh, that's a debacle. Falls over. 23, 24, no, it's just foul. And Fernando Tatis can't believe it. Mancini, 24-23. Salvador Perez taking on Pete Alonso. And Alonso was locked in. So was this man Joust. He was throwing it right in the middle.
We might need him in the second half.
You don't want him closing because he throws pus. Alonso was hitting absolute moon balls, one after another over 500 feet. He finished with 35 home runs. Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto. This was spectacular. Ohtani started off slowly, had just 4 home runs, needs 22 to tie Soto. That's Mike Trout on the phone. He says, hey, Shohei, lock and load, my guy. He does, but he was gassed. Needed one more to catch Soto to try to pass him. And then Soto, in the extra session, hit 6. So we're going overtime. Ohtani, he's at 28 for the win. It's off the wall. So now we have a swing.
The game with a stop.
Swing. Soto. Cue up the trouble funk. And let's get small. That's 1. Do it again for Big Tony. Drop the bomb.
Yikes.
And on his 3rd swing, up in his eyes, and it's over the trees. So 3 for 3 in double overtime to try to take out the home run leader at the halfway point, and Ohtani ground ball to second base. That'll do it. So Ohtani 31-28 in double overtime. The 208 total home runs in the first round, the most in Derby history. 4 players left standing. Interestingly, I'd have done well here to take the dogs.
Yeah.
No chalk advancing. Semifinal matchups: the 6th seed Trey Mancini against the 7th seed Trevor Story, the hometown guy. Then the 8th seed from right in our neighborhood, Juan Soto, against the defending champion Pete Alonso. So as the home run derby continues, it's the end of the Trevor Story story because he hit just 12, which meant Mancini needed just 13, and he got there before extra time. So the Mancini story continues at the expense of Trevor Story, and that sets up Alonso and Soto. Soto hit 15 during his round. Alonso got a minute left. Gonna take a timeout to pump out the crowd. Here we go.
It is Alonso's world.
It is that. Let's tie Soto, and the very next pitch, that'll do it. I mean, man has power at the ready, and he sends Soto. That was our pick, Steve. Sends him home, 16-15. All right, finals: Alonso, Mancini. Mancini putting on some pressure. 22 and strikes Danny Bays. But, I mean, Alonso's got a different gear. As Mancini's confident, but not confident enough.
You're watching Pete Alonso. How do you like your chances?
I'm not feeling too good right now. He makes it look so easy.
He truly does. Enters bonus time with 17, needs 6 for the win. And it's just the one after another nature of it. He seems to just get in the zone where every single pitch is tattooed. And he's closing in on 22. And that's a wrap. With plenty of time left, Mancini goes back to back. The hardware, that's not a middle of the mall chain right there. Just 3 seasons into his major league career, Alonso, one of just 4 players to win multiple home run derbies. Fielder and Cespedes each won a pair. Ken Griffey Jr. stands alone for now as the only with 3. And it's really not worth comparing the number of homers because the whole competition is a bit different than it once was. But anyway, Alonso's got plenty of time to try to catch the legend. Prettiest swing ever, maybe, and Ken Griffey Jr.
I mean, I'm a power hitter, and for me, I think I'm the best power hitter on the planet. And being able to showcase that and really put on a fun display for fans, I just think that it's truly a dream come true for me. Because when I was younger, my parents actually let me stay up past my bedtime to watch this. Hi guys, thank you. But they, so that was one of the few nights of the year where I actually got to stay up past my bedtime and watch absolutely incredible feats that you just don't see in a regular baseball game. And to be able to participate it's a dream come true. And to be able to do it back to back, this is really special for me and really, really cool.
Not a whole lot going on Monday night in the world of sports, but Team USA had an opportunity to get back on the floor after they were stunned over this weekend by Nigeria's 28-point favorites. They were favored by 13.5 over an Australian team with a bunch of NBA players. The United States doesn't have its full squad yet, but in exhibitions since the Dream Team, they were 54-2. They've now equaled that number of losses in 2 games. Against Australia in exhibition games since '92, they've only lost once. Leading by 1, Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant. One more look here as Beal takes it to the rim, and look out. United States up by 3. Time winding down in the second. It's an 8-point lead. Dame Lillard. All 3 of these hit 14 the entire game against Nigeria, 16 in the first half against Australia. So you figure, all right, maybe getting some stuff sorted out. Durant from Lillard. Ruthless score. 2 of 4 from 3 through the third quarter. The lead grows as Lillard hits another 3. But Australia's not going away. Chris Golding tips out the rebound, ends up in the hand of Dwap Reef. Tie game at 60. Golding will step back, bottoms. Australia leads by 2, 5 seconds on the clock. Joe Ingles. Golding gets it up in a hurry. He hits that. Australia's up 5 after 3. Fourth quarter, Australia down 1. Patty Mills. Such a great 3-point shooter. Hits that one. Australia now leads by 4. Durant, sweet spot behind the arc. Back to a 1-point game. Then Mills. The blow-by has to get creative because of the length of Durant, but he hits. 2-point game. Mills. Matisse Thybulle. United States calls timeout. Durant. Green. Not too dialed in there. Late game situations. And then Matthew Dellavedova off the miss. Woo! Outlet kick to Joe Ingles. I'm quite confident. Australia wins. Team USA back-to-back losses. For the first time since '92. Afterwards, Dame Lillard asked a question. Pop interjects.
You know what? Oh, good. You're done. Let me also answer that question. You asked the same sort of question, the same family of question last time, where you assume things that are not true. When you just mentioned, blowing these teams out, that's never happened. So I don't know where you get that. Can I finish? Can I finish?
You're saying that's not true. Your average mark.
Can I finish my statement?
Like 30 points a game. in those last two tournaments that I was talking about.
Can I finish my statement? When you talk,
That it's not true, and I'm telling you your average mark.
are you going to let me finish my statement or not? So you'll be quiet now while I talk, and then I'll listen to you. When you make statements about in the past just blowing out these other teams, number one, you give no respect to the other teams. And I talked to you last time about the same thing. We've had very close games against 4 or 5 countries in all these tournaments. So the good teams do not get blown out. There are certain games that might happen in one of the tournaments, in the World Championship, the Olympics, where somebody gets blown out. But in general, nobody's blowing anybody out for the good teams. So when you make a statement like that, it's like you assume that's what's going on. And that's incorrect.
Well, we know one thing about Pop. It's very important to
Respect the game.
In Team USA's first 10,000 days of playing with professionals, I should say, in exhibition games, they lost twice. They've doubled that number in 3 days. That's not debatable. That's what's happened. They're back in action against Luis Scola, new look Scola, in Argentina on Tuesday. Brian Windhorst joins us now from Las Vegas. And Brian, this was an exhibition. So was Nigeria. Nevertheless, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask if there's just a skosh of panic that feels reasonable here. Where do you land with that?
Well, Greg Popovich would tell you no, that the team has gotten better from game 1 to game 2, and that they're at a disadvantage in terms of all the games that these players have played and all of the time that these opponents have together, and all of that is true. But this is worrisome because I'm going to tell you, Damian Lillard and Kevin Durant combined to shoot 10 of 20 on three-pointers in this game. That's supposed to be a win, okay? And the thing about it is that when they built this team small with shooting. They didn't have any traditional centers. They said, we're going to get a bunch of guys who can shoot. They're going to outshoot everybody. But they're getting outshot. And in this game, Australia killed them in the paint. So this is a real challenge. They may win the gold medal in 3.5 weeks or whatever it is in Tokyo. But if they do, it will be because they overcame adversity. And that's not something we're used to Team USA seeing.
And as I mentioned, look, they're going to get some reinforcements here, but you're going to get a trio of guys that they're, speaking of, gas tanks and being tired, they're going to be coming out of however long the finals run. So there's that. In your estimation, what ought they be doing?
Well, I think a couple of things. First off, they've got to get reps, and they just haven't been able to do it. They haven't, been practicing that much. Both of these games, their execution down the stretch, even with some of the best late game execution players in the world, has been an abomination. It has been, frankly, shocking to watch Nigeria and Australia completely outclass them in the last 2 minutes of the game, but you've got Damian Lillard and Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and Jason Tatum in. And that doesn't come from anything but reps and getting comfortable. One thing that's been pointed out to me by Jason Tatum, none of these guys on this roster have really gotten much time together ever. There's almost no institutional knowledge here, and that is absolutely sticking out like a sore thumb so far.
This isn't a question, Brian, as much as a statement. I mean, the days of the best in the USA just showing up, putting on sneakers and a uniform that says USA and being better than whoever they play is done. I just wonder how much that resonates with whoever's wearing the jersey.
Well, that's been done, and they're playing against a handful of NBA players all the time.
Right.
But I just want to point out, this is still a loaded team. This team's loaded.
I'm with you, and I'm not panicking. It is just jarring to see them lose games because they typically don't. There is a bit of time. We'll see how things gel between now and Tokyo. As always, Brian, good to visit, brother. Be good.
Thanks, Scott.
Still to come after their first finals